Hello and thanks for joining us on your #1 labor program from Africa to the rest of the world, the Tripartite, the Worker, Employer and Government Roundtable. I am your host, Abulu Osemahu. Thanks for being there. Did you know it was World Walk to Work Day? How many of you packed your vehicles and walked to your workplaces, your motorcycles or your bicycles as the case may be? According to the United Nations, it is to check the health status of workers, employers, and government officials. So when next it is World Walk to Work Day, ensure that you pack your means of transportation or you avoid it a little to keep yourself healthy. It was also Sports for Development and Peace Day. But for us at the Tripartite, our concern is for workers in the sports sector. Those that clean the pitches, those that provide medics, the drivers, and what have you. How are they faring? Who cares for them? It was also World Health Day. I think you know that health is wealth, and we advocate health for all workers and their families, health for all employers and their associates. You must be healthy to be productive. So we wish you World Health Day. Check what you eat, check your lifestyle. Now, in our package for today, we'll take you to the construction industry. What is happening there, especially in Nigeria? Why are they jackbarring? We understand they are among the number of workers that leave the shores of Africa. It will interest you to know that the tension created by the crisis between US, Israel, and Iran has economic impact on not only Nigeria, but on countries around the world. But what is the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria saying to the Nigerian government in order to cushion the impact on workers and their families? We have our global update on labor matters. Workers are winning around the world. But apart from that, government and making sure that their policies are impactful.
Did you know?
I think what the worker needs to be healthy and productive is a collective thing. There is individual aspect and there is corporate aspect. What I mean by individual aspect, you must have an intentional attitude towards becoming healthy. And that comes with knowledge. So the area of health education and awareness is paramount at this point in time. Then the corporate aspect is such that the establishment has some degree of enforcement to do, thereby getting the workers to remain healthy. Because if the worker is not healthy, productive hour is lost, man hour is lost, and that will not be nice for the establishment. So, generally speaking, both the worker, even the family, and the corporate establishment need some role, have some role to play in keeping an employee healthy. You see, the truth is this: as we get older, especially energy boosting food has to reduce because you no more too active to requiring them. It's understandable. So what is there is that you carefully observe. I mean, your taste should even change. You carefully observe what quality. Now it's about quality and not quantity, and that's what should be done. In fact, what you take and everything, and in all fairness, you've understood your system, how it works, and you should align by that. When you work, you have to be, active. If you are active and you are active to a particular time, that should be considered. Why I say this is not that when you are sitting down and maybe looking at files or looking at laptop, you count it as being active. What is active is when you make a movement. And, it's easier now to calculate your level of activity by wearing some wristwatches ahead that could invariably tell you the amount of time or the pace you've achieved for a day. And that's that. Exercise is one of the most underrated and easiest cardio health program. For instance, if you must be considered to have been active in a week, you ought to have been active for 2.5 hours for that week. So invariably what it means is that 25 to 30 minutes a day, or 30 minutes for 5 days in a week, and that would be enough. However, if you are engaging in vigorous exercise, the time reduces to 1 hour 15 minutes. So if you split it, you could have like maybe 20 minutes or 15 minutes per day for 5 days. So actually what is important is consistency and being deliberate. If you are consistent with what you are doing and you are deliberate, I don't think there are issues. But the thing is that what also it means is that the workplace should have the setting such that we encourage workers to move around. It's not that when you have a system that does not allow free movement, it becomes an issue.
Did you know?
Welcome back. Now let's quickly take you to the president of the Construction and Civil Engineering Senior Staff of Nigeria on the plight of the construction worker. Welcome to this segment of the program. I'm here with the president of the Construction Workers Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, an affiliate of the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. He's going to be telling us a lot of issues they confront as construction workers in Nigeria.
As regards safety in the construction industry, as a union, we've been able to tackle most of the safety issues. We campaign, we engage the management, and most of the companies are complying. As a body, we are engaging the management. Some of the management have HSE policies duly signed by the MD. And so ours is to make sure that the respective companies adhere to the HSE policies. And we have construction in the oil sector, and we have the construction, civil construction. So those are the categories of workers that belong to the Senior Staff Association.
How will you rate the safety of construction worker in Nigeria compared to other countries of the world?
Well, if I have to make a comparison, I'll rate maybe 60%. 60%.
Well, we see a lot of construction workers without helmet, without hand gloves, and a lot of injuries in that sector.
Yeah, that is right. As I've said, you will not find such in most of the conventional construction companies like Julius Baja, like Setraco, ROCC, SCC. Those are the conventional construction companies. But the new ones that are coming, we have a lot of challenges with them.
What is expected of the worker himself?
Yes, it is expected of the workers to go to their management and demand for PPE, that is the personal protective equipment. At times, some of these people, they don't realize that it is important for the workers to be well kitted against accidents. But then when you go to them and tell them, look, I'm working under the crane and I need helmets, it behoves on the manager. They can't refuse. So we've been talking to our people that they should be bold enough to approach their management to tell them, look, these are the things that I need to be able to discharge my duties effectively and safely.
There are a lot of JACPA issues in health, education. Do you experience JACPA in the...
Of course, it's a north sector. Thank God that it's an open market. When you have a skill, you feel that, okay, I'm better rewarded in another place. There you go, you live. So it happens in the construction industry too.
What are the push factors in the construction industry?
Yeah.
Encourage the JACPA?
Yeah, like remuneration, salary, and general condition of service.
So will you then say the Nigerian government has shown interest in the safety of construction workers in Nigeria?
Yes, they've shown interest, but it's still not enough because even the Federal Ministry of Labour, they organize periodically stakeholder meetings where HSE is discussed. And, in the Ministry of Labour, you have the Occupational Health Department that takes care of the health needs and safety needs of the workers. So, and it's very, very active. As I speak, our members are being sacked because the federal government is not fulfilling their obligation, that is payment obligation. And one of the problems, again, we've been facing is the shifting of posts, the goalposts by the Federal Minister of Works and Housing. Like the issue of concrete technology. Fine, well, good. Nobody is saying that concrete technology is not good. But then the approach, we've been making effort to reach out to the Minister of Works, but they've not granted us the audience. But it's really affecting us. It's really affecting us because most of our members have been sacked, both as the junior and the senior level.
So the wage award and minimum wage implementation in your sector, how far so far?
Yeah, it has been implemented since. It has been implemented. And don't forget that the construction industry, we are well above the minimum wage. Yeah.
So with the current economic situation, how are you weathering the storm?
Well, it has not been easy. As I've told you, as a body, construction senior staff, we've had most of our members sacked. And the economic situation, you know, we too, we have our secretariat, we burn fuel, we repair our vehicles, we buy things. So the inflation is really affecting us and is affecting our members. Even as we speak, some of our members are not able to transport back to their respective houses. You can imagine a place like Lagos, where you live in Mowe and you have to report in VI. So how do you transport? Cost of transportation alone will take off the whole salary. So what our people are doing is to sleep in their respective offices or look for a nearby place, you know, crowd themselves together to rent a room and just to be able to beat the economic situation. But it has not been easy. It's really affecting our members.
What palliative will you propose?
Well, I think emergency should be declared in the construction sector by the government. And we've been encouraging the various management at least to go beyond, do beyond the normal salary. And thankfully, some of them are complying. Some of them are complying. They assist our members, both the junior and the senior, by paying them something, you know, to cushion the effects of the economic situation. I want to seize the opportunity to appeal to the federal government to declare emergency in the construction sector. We are really passing through a lot. And not only that, I'll be saying it in some of the conferences and seminars that I hold, that look, you can actually use construction. When you pump more money into construction sector, you can use it to tackle the insecurity in Nigeria. What is breeding insecurity? People lack jobs. You know, I can't go now and start carrying gun because I'm gainfully employed. So the low-hanging fruit that the government can use to tackle insecurity is construction. And again, when you want to know how vibrant the economy of a nation is, it is through construction. When you go around and you see construction, then easily you know that, okay, the economy is booming. So no matter what you say, if there are no construction, then I don't believe that the economy is okay.
My name is Mohammed Megardi Gadi, the Minister of Labor and Employment. You are watching the Tripartite program on AIT.
Welcome back. Now, there is a special segment in this program, which is Global Update on Labor Matters. We'll take you around the world on the winnings of workers and the effort of employers and government to ensure that the workplace ecosystem thrives.
Workers under the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, ASCSN, picket the head office of the National Insurance Commission, NACON, over allegation of anti-labor practices by the management. The workers, led by the Secretary-General of the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, Comrade General Nutoro, the union's national president, Shu Mohammed, and Secretary-General Joshua Apibo, accused NACON management of plotting sack of some staff who wrote promotion exams, alleging that they failed, but refused to displaying the results of the test. the workers had spewed the intervention of the Federal Ministry of Labour before embarking on the picketing. After hours of protests, the union leadership were invited for a closed-door meeting with NACOM officials, and it was resolved that until the matter is determined at the instance of the Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment, no further anti-labour action. The NACOM executive was led by the Director Finance and Administration. Community health workers, CHW, in the Philippines are celebrating a major organizing win, securing their first union registration with the Department of Labor and Employment. The newly registered BHW Pilipinas Union is focused on building worker power and improving health services across the country, with the support of PSI affiliate Slink and Pipsi, who have been organizing CHWs, known locally as a barangay health workers, for almost 2 decades. The union's president Medina Manto said members were overwhelmed with the solidarity and support. Like many of their comrades in Nepal, India, and parts of Africa, CHWs in the Philippines lack recognition as public health workers and are deprived of fair wages and decent work. Unions and civil society in Colombia have forced a breakthrough against corporate power. President Gustavo Petro has announced the country will withdraw from the Investor-State Dispute Settlement (ISDS) regime that lets corporations sue governments over public interest policies. ISDS has been used to intimidate governments, drain public budgets through legal costs and compensation, and chill action on workers' rights, social protection, and climate policy. In a letter to President Petro, PSI General Secretary Daniel Bertosa said, "This decision represents an important step towards strengthening the public policy space of states and promoting more equitable development models." 26th International Day of Sports for Development and Peace and We at the Workers and Children's Rights Writers International, WCRWI, #Rights Writers celebrate all workers and their children in sporting activities, encouraging them to use that singular passion to pursue development and peace in the world of work, families, and in societies. Above all, #Rights Writers urges for the protection of the rights of all workers in sporting activities, those cleaning the pitches, those in medics, those in logistics, those in transportation, movement, those in publicity, those in administration, as well as that of their families. WCRWI aligns with the United Nations 2026 theme, Sport, Building Bridges, Breaking Barriers. Hooray, it is Walk to Work Day. When last did you take a walk to work? Well, it doesn't matter when. The good news is that the 4th of April each year is Walk to Work Day, which is meant to help workers improve their health, especially mental health. Workers and Children's Rights Writers is happy to join millions of formal and informal workers in engaging in the simple but rich activity of walking to work for just one day. Walk to Work Day, often observed on April 4th, is a public health initiative promoting daily exercise by encouraging people to walk to their workplace. It helps reduce pollution, improve physical and mental health, and combat sedentary lifestyles. Walk to Work Day promotes walking as a regular part of a daily commute to improve mental and physical well-being. Walking can improve mood, reduce stress, enhance sleep, and reduce the risk of heart disease. But what are the environmental impact? It reduces car dependency, eases traffic congestion, and lowers carbon emissions. The European Energy Commissioner Jorgensen is calling for Europeans to drive less and work more from home to save energy amid the US-Israel-driven attack on Iran. In response, the European Trade Union Confederation, ETUC, has emphasized 6 essential safeguards that must be put in place to protect teleworkers. These safeguards are the same essentials already agreed between EPSU and the employers in central governments over 3 years ago as part of a landmark agreement covering 9 million workers in the EU. Telework must remain voluntary, workers' rights not to be contacted outside agreed hours, right to disconnect, must be enforced, additional work-related costs must be paid for by the employer. Workers' right to a permanent workplace at the employer's premises must be maintained, workers' rights, be it in relation to pay, training, health and safety, career development, equality, and trade unions, remain unchanged, and employers can monitor workers' performance in line with law and proportionality, but they cannot surveil workers. Rules on personal data protection must be respected. Global Union Federations (EGUFs), including Industry ALL Global Union, have issued a joint statement calling on governments to strengthen protections for migrant workers ahead of the 2026 International Migration Review Forum (EAMRF) Progress Declaration, which takes place in May 2026 in New York. The statement warns that the current UN draft text is a dangerous step backwards, moving away from a rights-based approach and diluting references to core International Labour Organization (ILO) conventions on freedom of association and collective bargaining. The joint statement raises the alarm over the 2026 zero draft of the Progress Declaration, which the GUF say shifts migration governance toward a technocratic labour market model, one that risks treating migrant workers as economic inputs rather than rights holders. The government of Singapore has announced plans to admit up to 40,000 permanent residents annually over the next 5 years as it adjusts its population strategy to address slowing growth and long-term workforce needs.
Welcome back. Now, don't forget this program is open for sponsorship, partnership, collaboration, and support, as we take you to the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria press briefing on how Nigerian worker and its family can survive the economic hardship created by the U.S., Israel, and Iran crisis.
What we are saying is that if you budget, if you have said the benchmark is $64.85, any excess above that, because what is leading to the high cost of PMS that is affecting the citizens, that is affecting the workers, is also benefiting the government, right? So that means when the crude oil price goes up above that benchmark, we will pay more at the pump price. So let government take that excess fund that was never budgeted for, take at least 60% of that excess fund, then use it to subsidize the crude that is being supplied to Dangote refineries. And when that is done, the feedstock to Dangote refinery, the cost of that feedstock will reduce. So when the cost of that feedstock reduces, then it means that the country price is also going to reduce. The same way they will do it for Dangote refineries, all other marginal refineries, all other modular refineries that predominantly produces AGO, crude should be supplied to them at that rate. So if, for example, on a daily basis, crude is sold for, let's say, $100 per barrel. So the difference between $100 per barrel and $64.85 is around $35.15. So take that $31.15, take 60% of it. Maybe it amounts to around $20. You use it to subsidize, to augment and to subsidize the price with which you supply crude to Dangote refinery. So with that, you are enabling and subsidizing production. Because one of the reasons they gave to us when we were debating about subsidy removal was because, oh, this cannot be monitored, people are abusing it. But when you subsidize crude, it doesn't have the ability to be abused because you are subsidizing production directly. So when that is done, we are going to see immediate reduction in the price of petroleum products. Solidarity forever. So when this is done, I could assure us that in the next 1 week, in the next 2 weeks, the price of PMS, the price of AGO, the price of jet fuel, they are going to go down immediately. So for us, this is the way forward that we think, and we hereby call on government, the 3-tier level government, from the federal government to the state government to the local government, that when next they go for their federation account distribution, they should remember that there are people that are bearing the brunt. They should remember that Nigerians are feeling the pain right in our pockets. And when this is implemented, we strongly believe and we strongly know that this is going to impact directly on the cost of transportation, on the cost of production, and all the ancillary costs that have gone up.
Welcome back. And don't forget, on this program, workers' lives matter, employers' business matter, government policies matter, pensioners' welfare matter, essential workers matter, migrant workers' lives matter, and domestic workers matter. Women's rights also matter. Don't forget that. Thank you for investing your time with us. I am Abulu Osemahu. Let's do this again.